Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
You can open the vendors page by clicking the Expenses link in the navigation bar and then clicking the Vendors link at the top of the page that opens to the right. This page shows all of your company's vendors. In the upper right corner of the page are two buttons. The first is the Prepare 1099s and Pay Bills drop-down button, and the second is the New Vendor Import Vendors button. To add a new vendor to the vendors list, click the New Vendor button to open a vendor information window. Enter the vendor's name into the title, first name, middle name, last name, and suffix fields. Then enter the vendor's company name into the company field. Use the Display Name As dropdown to choose how to show the vendor's name in your lists and forms. Below the Display Name As dropdown is a Print on Checks As field. To use the display name as the name to print on your checks to this vendor, check the Use Display Name checkbox. To use a different name, uncheck the checkbox and then enter the name to print on checks into the adjacent field. Enter the vendor's address into the street, city, town, state, province, zip code, and country fields within the address field set. Clicking the adjacent map link opens a new page and shows the address you entered in an online map. Enter any notes for this vendor into the notes field. If you have multi-currency enabled, you can select the vendor's currency when creating a new vendor. To attach a file to the vendor's record up to 25 megabytes in size, either drag and drop a file to attach onto the Drag Drop Files Here or click the Icon field, or click the Attachments paperclip icon. If you click the icon, use the browser's dialog box that appears to find and select the file to upload and attach. In the upper right corner of this window, enter the vendor's email into the email field. You can enter the vendor's phone numbers into the three fields for phone, mobile, and fax. You can enter another telephone number into the other field. You can enter the vendor's website into the website field. You can enter an hourly billing rate for this vendor into the billing rate per hour field, if applicable. The next field is a drop-down where you can select the payment terms for this vendor. To create new payment terms if needed, select the Add New choice from this drop-down menu to open a new term window where you can create the new terms and then click the Save button to save the new terms. If entering a vendor to whom you owed money for bills already received as of the start date of your company file, enter the amount you owed and the start date of your company file into the opening balance and the As Of fields. For vendor records that you create after starting your QuickBooks company file, you will leave these two fields blank as the amounts you owe to these vendors will be recorded by the bills you enter to track your payables. If you have an account number with the vendor, you can enter that into the account number field. This value appears in the memo field of all payments to this vendor. If needed, enter the vendor's tax ID into the Business ID number field. To track the vendor's payments for the 1099 form, check the Track Payments for 1099 checkbox. When finished, click the Save button in the lower right corner of the window to save the vendor record and return to the vendor's page.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.